Welcome to Adam Does Movies Live. I'm seconds away from feeling like passing out. I don't know why. 5 minutes before I was about to start the stream, just a wave of exhaustion hit me. A little shaking. And I'm like, oh God, I hope I don't got like a flu or something. 'Tis the season, as they say. So if my wife is catching this, fear not, I will isolate. I will stay downstairs and just pass out crumpled on the floor if need be. Okay, let's get to it. This is going to be a snappy, quicker live because of this, disgusting exhaustion that hit me. It could be because of the holidays. It could be because I ate a whole bunch of crap and then I didn't work out for like a week. And then today the kids and I went to work out, and once you hit 40, everything is just a lot harder to recover from. It could also be because I went to a coffee shop and attempted to watch The Last Jedi again for my movie notes for my roast. A lot of things coming at me from different angles, and it's not a good situation. But we're going to do what we can here and push through this. I will remind you, super chats are always appreciated. Super chat me if you want. I feature it on the live stream. I say, hey, so-and-so thought this was the worst movie of 2023, which is the topic of today's episode. I see my hair is a little out of control. Everything is out of sorts today, but we're going to press on. So without further Adam do, really, that was a terrible pun. Let's bring up the top 10 worst movies of 2023. And in the number 10 spot, let me share the screen. We have Godzilla minus one, or as I call it, Godzilla minus fun. I'm joking. Calm down. Godzilla minus one is not on my top 10 worst movies list. The actual number 10 spot goes to Meg 2, The Trench. Meg 2, The Trench. What can you say about a movie that has very little going for it? We once again have megalodons. They are in a trench. The trench is actually kind of the main protagonist of this film. I'm feeling like really bad right now as I'm talking. We might have to cut this off. I'm not going to lie. I might have to just say, hey, I'm going to do a separate video of my top 10 worst movies because I don't think this is going to happen. I feel like I'm going to drop to the floor. I'll try for a few more minutes. We'll see how it goes. Meg 2, though, terrible. I hated this story. I hated the focus on the trench. The cinematography was miserable. It looked fake as crap. I don't expect high art from Meg 2, The Trench, but I do expect at least a couple characters to be fun. I want a lot of shark killing. And again, it felt like the first movie where they held it all to the final 10 minutes. Just a complete waste of time. Although if I read the comments on TikTok, they all say the same thing. Bro, it was good, bro. Bro, it was good. Whew. Okay, let's push forward. In the number 9 spot, Insidious The Red Door, or as I called it, Insidious The Red Boar. Sometimes I say Insidious The Red Snore. This is the, 40th chapter of Insidious. I think it's the 4th. I don't care about these movies, but I thought maybe this one would would maybe be okay. It's got the whole cast back again. Takes place with the son grown up now. He's in art class. He's drawing weird pictures. It has all the tropes. I thought maybe they would play off of the fact that he's in college and do like a creepy dorm room scene or a creepy party scene. But no, they just kind of do nothing with it. It's incredibly mediocre across the board. None of the performances shine. They don't even have the cool psychic lady back. They always find a way to wedge her in, but really she just has a glorified cameo. This whole thing is a complete waste of time and talent. In the number 8 spot, this one's pretty new. Leave the World Behind. I felt like leaving this movie behind. It was just absolutely punishingly slow and tedious. The comments on this were hilarious from people thinking this is high art. Adam, you didn't understand it. It was just so deep and complex. It wasn't. I get it. The world is going to come to an end by a civil war, or it's going to be a war that takes place by other countries invading our lands through our technologies, shutting everything down. We're so dependent on technology. What are we going to do when it goes away? How are we possibly going to survive without it? We follow a cuckold husband who doesn't know how to navigate the roads because the GPS stops working. We follow a racist, bitchy wife. We follow an equally bitchy young black woman who's pointing out how racist the white people are. It's just so tired and lazy. The dialogue wasn't clever. The whole Friends side plot was lame as hell. Nothing about this worked. And the fact that it slowly keeps building and building to nothing is the biggest disappointment of it all. These are the worst kind of movies for me. I'm starting to get my energy back. I don't know what's happening. It's like I'm willing the sickness away because I'm so angry at these movies. This is the worst type of movie to watch because it puts the carrot on a string and it dangles it in front of you. So you're like, okay, the cinematography is cool. The director is having fun with the camera angles. Let's just see where it goes. But it never goes anywhere. It's the first act of a 3-act story that doesn't go any further, which is even more ironic because the movie presents itself in 3 or 4 different acts. That's the new trendy thing going on in Hollywood now. I saw like 5 or 6 movies this year that put the stupid chapters during the film. Act 1, The Trench. Act 2. It happened in Scorsese's film. It happened in, I think, Oppenheimer. It happened in, of course, this movie, Leave the World Behind. It happened in Napoleon. I don't know if it happened in Oppenheimer. I might have made that up. But it happened in a lot of movies. It should have happened 0 times. Let's move on. In the number, 10, 9, 8, I think the 7 spot, it doesn't really matter the order of these. They all suck. Heart of Stone. Stone acting from, what is her name? Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. This was a long-ass Netflix exclusive. You'll notice a pattern that most of these are Netflix exclusives, and they're all pretty much garbage. They're just so generic, I guess is the word I would use to describe it. They're generic. They're basic. So if you're going to be generic and basic, go quick with it or get out. Heart of Stone is long. It's dumb as hell. You have Gal Gadot who cannot carry the film for the life of her. And without any supporting characters that are interesting or cool or fun, you got nothing. Take a movie like True Lies, for instance. Arnold Schwarzenegger able to carry the film just on his personality, his charm that he exudes. But on top of that, you got Tom Arnold in the van, cracking jokes, being funny. You got Jamie Lee Curtis at home, being sexy and ignorant. And then you have a side story with Bill Paxton. There's just so much there in that type of spy film. You look at The Heart of Stone, though. What does it have? It's got Gal Gadot looking, they kind of tried to like desexify her. And so you just have kind of a very bland Gal Gadot attempting to act her way through green screen scenes. It has the same plot as Mission Impossible Fallout, but done much dumber. Nothing good about this film in my eyes. All right, on to 6. I say it like it's a question. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Shidia. I like saying it this way because it's not a clever pun off of Quantumania. It just came to me one day and it stuck. This movie sucks. It's got no joy. It's got no life. It's got a terrible Cassie Lane. Cassie Lane. I always forget how you say it. Casey. Who caresy? This actress is just like laughing through all of her lines. Nothing is taken seriously. Not that it has to, but I just, for the life of me, cannot understand why they made Ant-Man 3 the big movie that's going to set up the new bad guy going forward. A bad guy Jonathan Majors plays, Kang the Conqueror, who's now completely out the window, as far as I can tell, because Jonathan Majors has been sentenced to prison. Disney's walking away from him. Either they're going to recast or they're going to just walk away and do a new character. I can't think of a single thing I like about this movie. Because they're in the quantum realm, nothing is believable. I don't think they used a single practical set piece outside of the intro scene with Lane's mom. I think it's not Nicole Kidman, Michelle Pfeiffer. It's the other 80s heartthrob. Michelle Pfeiffer at the beginning. She's kind of like hopping over some what looked like real stone areas. But the rest of the movie is nothing more than background shit. And our characters are kind of like jogging in place. It's somehow worse than Thor, Love and Thunder, which is an incredible achievement. I didn't find it funny. I found it sad. And the fact that our huge big bad threat gets beaten by a group of ants, a colony of ants, that's just embarrassing. My favorite part, and just it goes to show how little balls Disney has left to do anything exciting, is when Ant-Man starts fighting Kang, and then he like pushes the rest of the family through their little portal that his daughter somehow just tinkered and made, this insane device that the daughter's just been kind of secretly playing with in the background, which is also stupid as shit. But he pushes them through this, and he's going to stay back and fight. And I thought, okay, good for them. They have a little bit left in them. They have some edge here. They're going to kill off Paul Rudd's character, or he's going to be trapped here. But then no, instantly, Wasp or whatever pulls his ass through too, completely ruining any sort of stakes the film might have had. This movie sucks, and it has no value. Number 5 on the list. Oh, God. I'm glad I didn't put out my worst of last week, because then I would have missed putting Rebel Moon on this list. Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. I just put a review out for this a few days ago. People seem to be in agreement, at least the people that jumped on my video. This is such a waste of time. I would say it's a waste of talent, but I was on the fence with Snyder for many years. For many years, I thought, what? Zack Snyder has some good movies left in him. He's got some stuff left in the tank. I don't think he does. I think he's so far gone now, there's no coming back. At one point, when 300 hit and Dawn of the Dead before that, I was really keeping an eye on this guy, and I thought, you know what? This might be my new favorite director going on. He's really doing things no one else is doing with green screen and CG, and he's doing that fun slow motion. He's like the Red Bull of directors. He's like the newish Michael Bay, but somehow a little bit more subdued than Michael Bay. There's not so many explosions, but now there are so many explosions, and he really hasn't grown as a director at all. In fact, he's regressed as a director. He's gone back into his shell, and he's hidden from the rest of the world and what they're doing, and he's still making these small scope green screen films and then pretending like they're grand scale, but everything still feels so small. I watched Dune last night, the 2021, 2022 film with my wife. It's amazing how embarrassing Rebel Moon looks next to Dune, which is just so much more polished, so much better directed, better writing. Everything has this massive scale to it. Rebel Moon it's just sad. It really is a Netflix film. Netflix movies are synonymous with pathetic garbage shovelware. And that's sadly where Snyder is now ending up. Okay. Next up on the list at the 4 spot, Bird Box Barcelona, as I call it, Bird Box Box of Bullshit. This is a film that no one asked for. The Sandra Bullock film came out I feel like it was 5 or 6 years earlier. It's been a long time. Maybe it hasn't been that long, but I do remember Bird Box being one of Netflix's earlier exclusives where they were really touting this thing. Look at this. We got Sandra Bullock, A-list actress. We have a Quiet Place kind of a plot, The Happening kind of a plot. It's pretty grounded. It's sci-fi. It's awesome, and it was fine. I didn't think it was an awesome movie, but I thought it was good enough, especially for a Netflix film. That's high praise. And so all these years later, to go back to it, but then have a new cast of characters featuring the most unlikable lead I think I've ever witnessed. This guy goes out of his way to screw people over for his own selfish needs. And yes, I know that that's the whole point, is he's being corrupted by this evil entity, this faceless, voiceless thing that's killing everyone. But now it's determined that it's actually also using people to do its bidding. All right, that doesn't make it any more fun to watch. I hated this character. None of the other supporting characters worked. The effects were lazy. It looked like a huge step down from the first movie. It was a miserable watch. My family all watched and enjoyed the first Bird Box film. This time around, I was the only one left standing or sitting or maybe sleeping by the end of it. In the number 3 spot. Did anybody see this movie? You know what? I blame Tony from Hack the Movies for this. He said that Adam, Strays is funny. When I saw the trailer for Strays, I thought, wow, this is absolute dog shit, pun intended, because it's about talking dogs. How is this movie going to make any money? Who is this movie even for? And then I watched the film because Tony said, oh, it's actually funny. It's good. I was on board for about maybe 30 minutes. And then it got tired really fast. All it is the same joke repeated over and over again. Ball jokes, dick jokes, swearing every other sentence. Very juvenile humor without any real punchline to anything. This was terribly unfunny. It reminded me of that food movie years ago with Seth Rogen that he produced and the animators got paid like nothing for. I don't remember what it's called. It's a pun. It's got hot dogs going into buns and they're like banging each other. And that's the joke. That's the whole movie. It was terrible. Sausage Party. It came to me. Sausage Party. Awful. I put Strays in the same bucket as Sausage Party. And the reason it's so high up on my list is because I shut it off after 30 minutes. If a movie's that bad where I can't even finish it, you got to go high up on the list. In the number 2 spot on the top 10 worst movies of 2023. I don't think anybody expected this to be anything but garbage, and it delivered. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Don't worry, the sequel's already been greenlit and it's on the way. There was a hilarious tweet on the artist formerly known as Twitter a week or so back from the producer, the director, I don't know, who cares, of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And he said, everybody's been asking for this. I'm paraphrasing, but it was kind of like this. Everybody's been asking, where's the trailer for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey Part 2? Don't worry, it's coming soon. All the comments were hilarious. Who's asking for this? I guess we've broadened the definition of everyone to be one person. It was pretty comical. This was a movie that I went to assuming it was going to be trash, and yeah, it was absolutely hot. It somehow exceeded my expectations for how miserably lame it would be. The movie follows Christopher Robin for a few minutes. He gets kidnapped by Pooh and Piglet, who are the only 2 people in this from Winnie the Pooh outside of Christopher Robin. I think Eeyore has his tail dangling on the background hook or something. There's a little reference to Eeyore because I think Pooh and Piglet are the only ones they might have had the rights to use. This whole movie exists because Disney didn't renew the trademark in time. And so they were able to license out these characters or something. It doesn't matter. This is a schlocky D-list horror film that will have a little bit of a cult following, mainly because of the topic. I will say, I love the title Blood and Honey. That is by far the best thing about this film. Full stop. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's good. Can't wait for the sequel. Trash. And the number one worst movie of 2023 is, drum roll, please. I don't actually remember what it is. I put this together earlier today and I forgot. And now I remember, Expendables 4. What a pile of shit. What a fall from not even really grace, because the Expendables movies were never that great to begin with. I thought the first one was incredibly lame. The second one got me with Jean-Claude Van Damme and the more fun, over-the-top nature of it. The third one was a step down. It did have Mel Gibson as a villain, which was kind of cool. He was clearly out acting everyone else in the film. And then this fourth one is so embarrassing. The CG on the plane and the explosions and stuff comes straight out of a PlayStation 3 video game. It's unrendered, it's unpolished. Stallone barely looks interested in this movie. Sounds like behind the scenes had him getting basically written out of his own film franchise. I think there's creative differences, or Stallone just really didn't want to do it anymore. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but on screen, he disappears after about 30 minutes. He's just gone, and it turns into the Jason Statham, Megan Fox show. In past movies, you had all these great action stars like Jet Li, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and now you have 50 Cent, Megan Fox, a bunch of young kids I've never even heard of or seen. I know some of them are from the Raid films, which are fantastic. You want to see great action movies? Watch The Raid and The Raid 2 Redemption. Those movies kick all sorts of ass. This movie kicks no ass. There are a couple of good hand-to-hand action scenes, but you can watch those on YouTube and walk away. Save yourself an hour and whatever this thing is, and just watch about 10 minutes of action clips, and you might be like, okay, that was fine. That was okay. Everything else about this is just so awful. Stallone, at one point, they established that the whole plot of this is Stallone fakes his death by getting in a bar fight earlier with the dude, kidnapping that dude, putting him in a plane, still alive, mind you, crashing that plane into the ground, killing the dude on impact, and then putting his ring on the guy's hand so it looks like he was Sylvester Stallone's character. I already forgot the name of the guy. It doesn't matter. I call him Stallone. We can call him Sly. But yeah, that was the fake out of his death. And then he comes out at the way in on a Gatling gun on a helicopter. And that's the end of the movie. What a piece of shit. What an absolute disaster of a film franchise this became. Went out with a fizzle instead of, I guess, I don't even say a bang. There's no bang here. Okay, that is my top 10 worst films of 2023. I did it in 23 minutes. I didn't waste time because I'm pale. I'm disgusting. I'm having a hard time. Let me have some super chats, though. Give me your worst film of 2023. I would love to hear it. I'm going to stick around for a few minutes while you tally those up and put them in. It's been a year. It's been a year on YouTube. It's been a great year, actually. I would like to do a video probably early in January, or maybe I'll do it at the end of December here and just kind of go through my goals and what I achieved and what I didn't achieve and what the plan is for the channel in 2024. I got some good ideas. My wife has some ideas. We'll try them out. We'll see if they work. They might not, but we're going to go for it. This year has been really awesome. I think the collaborating I started to do later on was really a good call. And I do have some fun things to announce coming up that I think are going to take the channel to the next level, which would be great. We have one super chat. Everybody is poor after the holidays. I understand. Believe me, I understand. We have a super chat from Okie Feel That. Okay, I feel that. Okay, I feel that. I got there. 199. Thank you. Okay, I feel that. Thanks for a year of content, Adam. You the best. Well, thank you. Okay, I feel that for the 199 super chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody watching. Indiana Jones 5 did not make my list, but it was a contender for sure. It was a contender, but overall, I've already fell out of favor with Indiana Jones after Crystal Skullfuck. I didn't really have any shits left to give, so to speak. The Friday live stream, which will go up at 9:30, I assume, Actually, the Friday one might go up a little later. It depends on my daughter's social life. If I have to drop her off somewhere and pick her up, it might be later. But tentatively, that's going to go 9:30, maybe a little later. We'll see. That's going to be the top 10 best movies of 2023. Believe it or not, kids, I did have a hard time pulling together 10 movies that I really didn't like this year. So many movies felt in that meh category, just a really big meh. Nothing great happened, nothing terrible, just a lot of mediocre garbage. So finding 10 that I despised or just thought were worthy of going on a top 10 worst list, it was actually a little bit of a challenge. The top 10 best of 2023 was a lot less hard for me. It turns out there was some fun movies this year. There were some solid picks that I could come up with, especially in this last half. I felt like the final couple months were really backloaded with some good stuff. Great stuff in some cases. So look forward to that Friday. Upcoming videos, I talked about the Last Jedi roast. That's very much on the docket. It's in play. I wanted to get that out before the end of the year. That's still definitely going to happen. The Matrix roast is set for next week. I got to watch that horrible Matrix 4 and script it still, but it's still looking potentially possible. And before 2024 fires up, I have to get my damn movie script done. It's close. It's so close, but I haven't found an opportunity to sit down and write it anymore. That's going to happen. It has to happen. All right. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll see you soon, unless I pass out on the floor and just die right here on the spot. Who knows? Do I have any wood to knock on? Oh God, I hope that doesn't happen.